Hello friend, how are you? Welcome to Tripan Study Center. Today we are doing most important chapter of history. What is the topic today? Cultural development in the Middle India. There is a most important chapter and the point here arrive of Sufism. Sufism is the most important here of 18th century. Sufism is a term used to be referred to mystically religious idea in Islam. These are mystical is religious idea of Islam and it has involved into the well development movement by 11th century. And Sufis stress on the importance of transversing their path of Sufi Pir, enabling on the establish a direct communication. There is a communication with there is a divine. A Sufism or the mysticism emerged in a 18th century, and among their earlier known as Sufi were here Rabia al-Adawai and Al-Zunad as Balavid Bastami. There is a most important name here. A fundamental to Sufism is a God. The man, their relation between there that is a love, and there is a belief that from man emerge the theories of Ruh. There is Ruh Uday. The Ruh is most important, the soil, and the Kurbat. Kurbat is divine supremacy, and Halul. Halul is invention of their divine spirit, and that from the relation between God and man. Ideas such as ishq, divisions love, and fana, self-annihilation. There is a fana and the love. There is a ishq is most important for the Sufism. And come into began, and there is a Sufis we are regarded as a people who keep there is a heart pure, and they shouted to the communicate with the God through there is the ascetics is a practice and doctrines and divine love and the union with the God. That is the most important point here. Note down love and union with the God. The murid discipline is a pass through the maqamat various stages. In this is a process of experiencing communication with the divine. There is a call, there is hopeless, and the center of activity of the various Sufi order. The Khawkha was led to the Saikha Pir as a Murasid, is a teacher who lived with his Murad, discipline, and in the time of the Khanako is emerged as an important center of learning and the preachings. By the 12th century, the Sufi were organized the Silsilahs, is order. There are Silsilahs mean order. There is a word Silsilah is a mean chain, and it is represented to signify on the unbreakable chain between to the Pir and Murad. With the death of the Pir, his stub and the sharing to the Dargah is become a center for the discipline and the follower. Dargah is the most important the follower, and there is a discipline. In the 10th century, Sufi spread across the important religions of the Islamic Empire. Iran, Khorasan, Tarassonia, Egypt, Syria, Baghdad, and the important Sufi center. Ghazali is a 1059 to 1111 AD is among the most is a venerate of Sufi. He is consulate to Islamic mysticism with Islamic order 60 as providing to Sufi mysticism as a sure place in the Islam. He stressed on the need for the husband to follow the guidelines of spiritually is master. He also imposes on the supreme authorities of holy prophet and their need to the oral law in the both letter and spirit. The Sufi movement in India is commenced in the 11th century AD. The Al-Huzairis, who is established himself in the North India, was buried in the Lahore and regarded as the oldest Sufi in the subcontinent. Among the important Sufi order in the history of medieval India were those of the Chishti and the Suhrawardi and the Qadri and the Naqshbandi. There is the most important here on the Middle India. Chishti and Suhrawardi Silsilah were popular during the Sultanate period. Their Suhrawardi were active in Punjab and Sindh, while the Chistis as were too active in Delhi. Rajasthan and part of the western is a Gangetic plan. By the end of the Sultanate period, they had to spread to the eastern region of the Gangetic plan. Gangetic plan here Bihar and Bengal. And into Deccan during the middle period, the Sufi has a play an important role in the interpreting and elaborating on the Islamic is a theologically concept like a Bahadat ul Wazud, unit of began. There is a most important unity of began and also encourages the development of practice like a ziyarat, the practice of visiting tombs. And the here the Sufi movement as is emerged in the India has the following feature. The first feature, the Sufi were organized in a number of different Silsilah order. And most of this order were led by the some prominent Sufi sant or Peer. It was or named is after them and followed by the discipline. There is a most important here point, a feature of Sufi movement. Note down your copies. The Sufis believe that is a union and God won't need a spiritual guru and peer. The Sufi peer is a khanqa with there is a discipline. There is the most important here. Next feature here, the khanqa, there is a hypothesis as was the center of Sufi activity. The khanqa is emerged as important center of learning which were a different form of madras, the center of theology. The many Sufi enjoy the musically is a congregation of Sama. In there is a khanqa. There is a most important Sama in the khanqa as there are a musical from call to the Qawwali is a development during this period. The Qawwali is the most important as Sufi enjoy the musically congregation and the Sama. The ziyarat as a pilgrimage is to the terms of the Sufi sant soon emerged as on the important from a rituals pilgrim image. And most of the Sufi believe in the perform of the miracle. The perform of miracle, almost all the peer were is associated with the miracle performed by them. The different Sufi order had devised the approaches about the matter of politics and state. The next year, the Chishti Silsilah. The Chishti Silsilah order was established in India by Monotheistic Chishti. Monotheistic Chishti is established in India on the Chishti Silsilah. He seemed to have a move into India after the invention of Mizuddin Muhammad Ghori and subsequently to Ajmer in 1206. The fame of the Khwaja Muhyiddin is grey after his death in 1235. His grave was visited by Muhammad Tughlaq, after which the mosques and dome were erected by the Muhammad Khalji as a Malwas in the 15th century. Muhammad Khalji of the Malwa in the 15th century. There is a Patagon's of this is a Dargah is peak after the reign of the Mughal Empire Akbar. Here show the Ajmer Dargah. There is a most important visit to the Akbar. The next important topic that Chishti believe in. There is a most important is a point a Chishti believe in. Chishti only believe in a love as the bond between God and invisible soul. The second, the tolerance between two people of different faiths. Acceptance of discipline irrespective of their religious belief. An attitude of the benevolence to all. Association with the Hindu and Jain yogis and use a simple language. There is a Chishti belief here. The Chishti's presence in Delhi was established by Qutubuddin Bhatkar Khaki, who is the settled in Delhi from the homeland in Tarkoxina in the 1221. There is an important period of time, and this was at the time of the Mongol invasion when there was the steady flow of the people from Central Asia fell there from the Mongol. His presence in the Delhi was a threat of the Suhrawardis and who sought to force him to leave by the levelings or charges against him. The Sultan of Delhi is Itu means this is a temple to the eventually is a forcing to the Suhrawardis of the relent. The Chishti is a peer, led of great emphasis on the simplicity of the life, poverty, humility, and selfless, and devotion of to God. The recognitions of the worldly position was regarded by them as a censorship of the control of the sense that was necessary to maintain a spiritual life. Khwaja Isma'iluddin Chishti agreed that the highest form of devotion to God was to redress the misery of those distressed, fulfill with the need of the helpless, and to be filled the hungry. They refused to accept any grant for their maintenance from a sultan. That is important. The other important Chishti Baba Fariduddin Jain is a Shankar, established himself at the Hansi in Haryana on the routes between to the Multan and the Lahore. Nizauddin Alawiya was the best known as a Chishti sant of the Sultanate period. That important point. A Chishti sant of the Sultanate period, he lived in there is a 14th century during a period of the political change and turmoils. During his lifetime, he was a witness to be establishment of the Khalji rule after death of the Balban and subsequently is establishment of the Tughlaq. There are numerous stories surrounding the life of the Nizauddin Aliyu is famous among them were the story of his confrontations with the Sultan of Delhi. The Khwaja is said to have maintained a strict policy of not involving himself with the various group and function of the Sultan as a court in a Delhi and erring to him to the respect of many. Nazaruddin Chiraga is Delhi was another of the Chishti Sant of Delhi. He played an active role in the is a political affair of the period. All this is enabled to the Sufi to maintain a loyal and their dedicated following. In the 30th century, the Chishti order was established in the Deccan by Sakha. Is a Burhanuddin Garib. The Burhanuddin Garib between to the 40th to 60th century. Many Chishti Sufi is a migrate to the Gulbarg. This was accompanied with a change where some of the Chistis began accepting a grant and patrons from to the rulings establishment. Muhammad Banda is a Nawaz is among the famous peer in the religion, and the Deccan city of the Bijapur emerged as an important center for a Sufi activity. The next here, Suhrawardi Silsilah. There is the most important here. This silsila was founded by the Sikhuddin Suhrawardi is a Bhagwad. It was established in India by the Bahauddin Zacarias. He is founded by the Suhrawardi order and the base in the Mutan, which was under the control of the Kuvacha. He was a critical of Kuvacha and openly is a favor to Itumis over his arrival, and his way very different from that of the Chistis. The Suhrawardis is unlike the Chistis accepted the maintenance is a grant from the sultans. There is a belief that a Sufi should be possess the three attributes of poverty, knowledge, and all are mystically is engagement. Suhrawardi Sant is agreed that it was necessary to ensure that they serve the poor better. He stressed on the observance's external force of the religious belief and advocated a combination of the Islam scholarship with the mysticism. The practice lies bowing before a sheikh and presenting to the water to the visit and tossing their head. At the time of the intentions to the order that is a Chishti had is adopted were rejected. After his death, the Silsila continued to play an important role in Punjab and Sindh. There is a most important here. A Suhrawardi Silsilah is a continue play an important role in Punjab and Sindh. The next here is the most important here are Naqshbandi Silsilah. Naqshbandi Silsilah is the most important in India. This order was established by the Khwaja Bahauddin. Is the Naqshbandi. There is a most important here established of the Khwaja is a Bahauddin's Naqshbandi. From there is a beginning to the mystics of the order stress on the is the observance of the Shariat and denominates all the invention of the Vidyat. There is important here. And the Sheikh is a Beku Villa. The sensation of the Khwaja is a Bahauddin's is a Naqshbandi is a settled near to Delhi. And his successor, Shaikh Ahmad Sirhindi, is attempted to the pure Islam from all the levels and what we believe there is a un-Islamic practice. And he is opposed the listening of the Sama. The Sama here, religious music. And the practice of the pilgrimage to be a terms of the Sant. He is opposed interaction with the Hindu and the Shia. He is a criticized. There is a new status according to the Akbar to the many non-Muslim. The withdrawal of the Zayah and this ban on the cow slaughter. The slaughter and his belief that it was the Mujahideen is a renewal of the first millennium of the Islam. Millenniums of the Islam. He is maintaining that is a relationship between man and God. Was that is between to the slave and their master and not the relation of the lover and believed he is imposes his individually as a unique relation of faith and responsibility to the God as a creator. He tried to the Harimansons and the domestines of mysticism and the techniques of the orthodox of Islam. There is a most important Naqshbandi Silsilah. There is a most important. The next year, Qadri Silsilah. The Qadri Silsilah is the most important. There, the Qadri Silsilah was popular in Punjab. Qadri Silsilah is popular in Punjab. There is a Sheikh Abdul Qadir and his son was a supporter of the Mughals under Akbar. The peers of the order supported there is a concept of the Wahadat and Wazud. Among the famous Sufi of this order was a Mian Mir. The Mian Mir who has enrolled there is a Mughal princess is a Zahanara and there is a brother Dara as it is planned. There is a most important Mughal princess Zahanara and brother is Dara. Dara is a brother of the Aurangzeb and there is the Zahanara and the brother Dara as a display of here of is a Qadri Silsilah. The influence of the Sheikh as a teaching is evident in the work of the prince. Shah is a Bad Sakhmi is another is a peer of the Silsila with the dismissing to orthodox of element. and declare that the infidels who had perceived or related and recognized it, it was a believer, and that a believer who did not recognize or relate was an infidel. During his middle period, there was a contact, is a tension between the liberal and orthodox is a view in Islam. The Sufi is a feature on the both sides. Well, there was those like there are Chistis who held to liberal view of the agreed in favor of the assimilation of the local traditions. There is other like a Sikh Abdul Haq of the is a Qadriya is a Silsilah. There is the most important. There is the next is Silsilah is the Abdul Haq of the Qadriya Silsilah who held to the view that the purity of Islam was began to diluted. This orthodox view was represented by there is a ulema that is agreed from to the perspectives of began upholder of the Sareta, and she liberal is opinion found it is a voice among many Sufi who is agreed against the narrow defined of the Islamic law by the ulema.